Hello, it's Ashley here, your Facebook group expert here in Flourish, and I am going to be doing my second part of running a Facebook group of giveaways. So, um, hello, how are we doing? Cheers for my coffee cup to yours. It is morning time now whenever I am doing this, so I am hopefully going to be clicking a little bit better than I do really late at night, or I don't know, maybe I'm more of a night person, I'm not for sure. But anyway, how is everybody doing? I hope you guys enjoyed the first part of just getting a Facebook group started. And today we are going to talk about giveaways. And I have my notes all written out here of everything that I need to talk about with you guys. And some of the questions that I had polled the club here about a month ago with some of the questions that you guys had. So really, giveaways, this is going to be a shorter presentation. It's a lot easier to explain than it is to do. You know, a lot of you all struggle with growing your group, and I completely understand that. So we're just going to dive right in and start in with the proper way to do a giveaway. So whenever you, well, let me back up. Before you do your first giveaway, you need to have a core group of at least 30 people, probably 30 to 50 people is a good core group to have. So I want you to cross post on your business page, or if you're just getting started, I want you to add some friends that have been customers of yours, or send out invites if you do not want to add people. That is the number one thing that people say, well, I don't want to add people. And every time I ask why, they always say, well, I don't like to be added to groups. Well, I can understand that with some of our more popular groups that just add people all the time, but you're not that type of group. And so I want you to really keep that in mind whenever you are adding people. If they are a friend of yours or a family member of yours and they have bought from you before, then obviously they are in your target market. And those are the people that you want to add. If you have members that are on an email group, or, customers that are on an email group, send out an email invite to your group. I noticed oh boy, you can tell it's morning. I noticed a new feature that the Facebook group has to where you can actually add people, but then in your invite, you can type a little message to them. So people always have the option to join or not join, even whenever you're adding them to the group. There's a little thing that goes up at the top of your screen that says, Ashley has added you to Rio Exciting Sales and Events, and you can click join that group and be an active member of it, or you can unjoin the group. Unfortunately, there's not a way to invite people to a group as of yet, but it looks like Facebook might be gearing towards that, because I did notice there was a little box that you could actually type a message whenever you were adding people and inviting them. So that might be something in the future that won't be so bad. But you need to get that core of 30 to 50 people in there. So if you, don't have family and don't have customers, sorry, I'm fighting a really bad cold. I'm a lot better this morning than I was last night, for sure. But anyway, if I'm sniffling a little bit, I'm sorry. So you have your core group in there, so you need to find them, whether it be existing customers or family and friends, whatever the case may be. But you need to make sure that you're always trying to target your target market. So obviously you're in business because you have a product and people have purchased from you before. So hopefully you do have existing customer base that you can invite to your group of, somehow, either through email, through your contacts, through customers, whatever the case may be. So you need to get a core of 30 to 50 people in there. And then we're going to do a giveaway to grow your group, okay? So here's the proper way to do a giveaway. You are going to add 3 pictures of your giveaway, and it has to be something worthwhile. I tell people it doesn't have to be a $50 or a $100 item, but it does need to be worth the customer's while for it. Coupons usually don't work very well, or gift certificates, they don't work as well as being able to see your product, especially for those customers that maybe have only bought one thing from you or haven't bought anything from you but are in your target market. The whole point of doing a giveaway is to grow your group. You have to be able to get something out of the giveaway. So you are going to pick 3 items and you're going to take pictures of them, 2 to 3 is what I always recommend. And then you are going to get that posted with these set of rules, okay? So number 1, you are going to type in giveaway. Please help us grow our group, and you can be entered into this drawing. Something like that. I'm not as professional talking as what I would be typing. So you're going to put something like that, all in caps, make it exciting. You do want to promote this giveaway before you do it. So kind of go back to what I talked about last night's presentation and post a Canva ad to tell everybody that you're going to be doing a giveaway, or take a sneak peek of, half of a product, like half of a sign, if I was going to do it, to say, we're going to be doing a giveaway. Kind of build up that excitement, especially when you're first getting started in on growing a group. You want to build up excitement and really prepare your audience for what's going to be happening next. And we really hit on that last night. So, okay, so giveaway. We are going to be doing this giveaway by you helping us grow our group, something to that sort. So, number 1, and you're actually going to put the number 1 on there. Like this post. This is what you're going to type. I'm laying it all out for you, very black and white. So number 1, like this post. Number 2, comment with the product that you would like to win if you are chosen the winner. And then number 3, you're going to ask them to add, now this is for your first giveaway, you are going to ask them to add 5 members if and only if they think that they would enjoy your group and your product. This is going to help narrow down your target market. So obviously, I sell signs, so probably a 65-year-old man is not going to be my core target market. Now let's go back and talk about the 3 choices and why we are wanting to offer them these options. In our target market, we have sub-target markets, and I teach this whenever I'm doing my coaching calls. So within your target market, you have people who are kind of branched off, per se. So for instance, I am a sign maker. I make all colors of signs. So those colors are my sub-target market for me. So I might have some people who like dark stain with white lettering. I might have some who like all white signs with black lettering. And then some people who might still like to do blues or reds. So those would be 3 different signs that I would post. I'd post a dark stain, a white sign, and maybe a blue one. And that's going to hit more of a core of my target market. Does that make sense to you guys? So you want to pick out 3 items that's going to hit the majority of your target market that's within your group. So we all have those sub-target markets. We might have, if you're a jewelry maker, I talked about jewelry a lot last night, so we'll just kind of continue on with that. If you're a jewelry maker, you have some people who might like to wear rings and some people who might like to wear necklaces. I'm not a huge bracelet fan, but every once in a while I will wear a bracelet. I, however, do not wear earrings very often on a day-to-day basis. So I am more of a ring or necklace kind of gal. So if there was a giveaway for only earrings, I'm probably not going to participate in it. But if it was a necklace that I really liked, I would probably participate in the giveaway. So a pair of earrings, a bracelet, and a necklace might be something, that would be a good variety if you were a jewelry maker. So you want to try to hit all of those with those 3 pictures. And that's why I always coach people to do 3 pictures so you can hit a larger target market. Okay? So that's that. So for your first giveaway, you're going to ask them to add 5 people. Now I am going to ask you, as your group expert, once you get your core in there, you are going to do 3 giveaways to get started. You're going to do 1 a month. So you need to schedule these and decide what it is that you are wanting to do giveaways on, and really plan these out. Really prepare people for them. So your first one, you're going to ask them to add 5 people. Your second one, you're going to ask them to add 3 people. And then from there on, your third giveaway, you're going to only ask them to add 2 people, because we don't want to come across as being needy. We don't want to come across as, what can you do for me? Help me grow my group. Numbers. You don't want to get your target market in there, and be like, my gosh, all she's wanting us to do is add people to this group. So you're going to do that for 3 months. And then you're going to back off and you're not going to do another one for another 3 months after that. And from here on out, you're only going to ask them to add 2 or 3 people. I recommend 2 after you've done a few giveaways, because we don't ever want to come across as desperate. We don't ever want to come across as too salesy. You know, we are humans that are running our own business. We're not bots. We're not huge companies. You know, we are normal, everyday, business people. So, entrepreneurs, makers, whatever the case may be. We want people to get to know us as a maker and get to feel that connection with us. So that's really key in running your group, is making that connection. So that's how you're going to start a giveaway. And that's it, guys. That is how you are going to do a giveaway. Now, and you have to set it up like that. I mean, you don't have to, but that has been, Facebook groups have been a huge trial and error, and that is what works best for me. And I have grown, I think my group is 37. Oh gosh, I can't quit yawning. 3,700 members, and it's been up to 5,000 before, and I went through and I kind of weeded out a whole lot of people that were either other sign makers or really weren't participating in that kind of stuff. So this is how I've grown my target market, and which I have a large target market, that is true. Being a sign maker, I really do have a very large target market. So that does work in my benefit versus having a very narrowed target market. But you can always reach out to, friends and family who have people that are in your target market as well. So that is how you're going to set up a giveaway. And that's the quickest way to grow a group. Now, there are other ways. People say, well, giveaways don't work for me. I would really encourage you to set up that format that I just talked about. And if you do 3 in a row and you're not getting any interaction, then you can come on and say, nope, it didn't work for me. But until you do that 1, 2, 3 process, and you really are reaching out to those people in your group and making that connection. So I don't mean start your group, get your 30 to 50 people added in there, and not post anything else until your giveaway. That's not what I mean. You have to be interactive on your group. You're going to hear me say that probably 1,000 more times. If you're not interactive, you're not going to have people being interactive with you. Okay? So you have to post that interactive content. You have to get people involved if they're going to be able to see things like a giveaway. That's the whole point in doing this interactive post, is so whenever you do get ready to do a sale or you do get ready to grow your group, people are going to see it show up in their newsfeed. The more that people interact, the more that your items are going to show up or your posts are going to show up in their newsfeed. Okay? If you hear a scratching, I think my cat's trying to get inside. I let her out this morning. She kind of comes and goes. So anyway, it's going to probably annoy me for the rest of the video. Miss Sassy. So, okay. So let's get down to other ways that you can grow your group. Key is providing good customer service and a good quality product. And you're like, well, duh, Ashley. But how do I grow my group with that? Well, let me tell you. You have to get your product into people's hands. There is no other way, really, to create those customers, correct? It's even like that on Etsy. We have to get that sale, but if your product is not good once they get it, or your customer service is not good, then you've lost a customer, right? So it's the exact same way with Facebook. We have to get our product into people's hands. So after you kind of grow your group a little bit and you do your first sale, which we talked about last night, you kind of do your first restock or you do an order, you're getting the word of mouth. It's a very slow way to grow your group, but it is one of the best ways to have a loyal customer following and a loyal customer base, is to get your product into people's hands. So, how can you do that? You can go to craft shows or like the vintage market days. I know me and Michelle's been accepted into one as well. They are kind of hard to get into, but they're big right now all across the country. There's people who follow, they run the circuit of vintage market days, so that's a great way to, get out. You need to get out. A lot of people say, well, I don't have a lot of shows locally to me. Well, then travel if you can. If that doesn't work for you, then have your own show. Ask a close family or friend member who has, it's kind of like the home interior, the Tastefully Simple, those kind of shows. Ask them to have a show for you and invite their friends. And if they get so many friends to come and so much product is ordered from what you have, then they get a discount off. That's a great way to get your name out if you don't want to have a sale at your house. I, for one, do have sales at my house. I started doing that 3 years ago, and I have one market that last year we actually had 1,000 people attend, and it's all through Facebook. All through Facebook. So it can happen. So have shows of your own. Ask friends to have shows for you to go set up in their house. Go to craft shows if you can. And so then my next thing, so I've covered those 2 ideas. The next one is, a lot of times there's those antique malls or people who do consignment. I was in consignment for a whole year, and it did really help locally get my product into people's hands. I set up a really cute display, and I know that there is a few Flourish customers who have consignment places, and it really does help grow your brand awareness in whatever community that you're going to put that in. So that's kind of another good way to get your name out there and create those loyal customers. Put your business cards in there, have your product in there for people to buy. A lot of people are saying, well, I can't afford to take a 25 or 50% cut. Then up your prices and then promote your group through there saying, you can, or if there's a booth rent, it just depends on how they run it. But, you can really promote purchase from us here, but then you can also go into our group to get exclusive deals. There's all different kinds of ways that you can market your group in order to get your name out there and to be able to grow it organically. It is a lot slower and it takes a little bit more work on your part, honestly. But you can go into those stores. Now, a lot of people ask, and this is actually going to be the last part, so I might be able to do a video in under 20 minutes. That's amazing. Is the target market groups. People say, well, can I post in another group? There are a few types of businesses that it will work for. But a lot of people, such as myself, I'm not going to go into those buy-sell trades, and I kind of talked about that last night in the video. I just don't feel like if you are a true business person really, really wanting people to take you seriously, that posting in those buy-sell trade sites is the proper way to go. I'm not saying that it doesn't work, but I consider those people to be hobbyists. Now, there are a few different types of groups that would probably, or types of businesses that would work. If you provide supplies, then it is great to be able to post in, let's just go with a sign maker. And I actually have a group that I don't do as much with, but it's just a kind of on the, I don't want to say on the back burner, but whenever I have my slow moments, I will go into that group. And since I'm a sign maker, I make my own stencils. And so I've been selling stencils, and I have been selling metal, like our corrugated metal. I've been selling that to other makers. So what would be a good group for me to go in and post? That type of group, sign maker group. If they allow me to post in there, then that's a good place for me to be, right? So if you provide supplies, so if you are a supplier for jewelry makers, then obviously jewelry groups, if they will allow you, you need to read through the rules. If they will allow you to be able to post in there, your group, then that's a great place to go in and post a group. Now, a lot of people on Facebook, they don't go to Facebook specifically to shop, right? You do have like some of your Facebook shoppers, but that's why ads are so popular on Facebook, is because it gets people to click. It's clickbait, and so a lot of, like, let's just say that you sell children's clothing. I don't get on Facebook to specifically look for children's clothing, right? I get on there to socialize and interact with my customers and interact with my friends and family on Facebook, because it's a social forum. If you've watched any of my videos, I probably say that in everything. Facebook is a social forum. So we have to be social. But I know that's kind of the pits, right? We have to be social on social media. That's a no-brainer, right? So getting into those target groups are great if you have a supplier, but if you like sell kids clothes, probably to go into, you don't ever want to go into another maker's group and try to get customers that way. That's never a good idea, because we wouldn't want that done to us, right? So you don't want to do that. It's just really hard if you provide a product to be able to go into target market groups and find those. I'm not saying that it can't be done. It does take a lot of research, and it does take a lot of time to try to find those groups that you can post in and make that beneficial for your group. So, the best way is to do giveaways to hit your target market, do some shows, and gain that local following. Guys, when I first started out, I've been on Facebook. I've been running a business for 5 years. Cheers to that. When I first started out, I ran my business for 2 years on just the Facebook business side, the business page. And then Facebook started really changing those algorithms. And so that third year was a struggling year because my product wasn't reaching people. And so then that's when I started really thinking outside of the box. And started noticing a little bit more groups pop up, and I'm like, I should start a group. And so that's how all of this began. One of the things that you have to remember in running a group is it takes time. It's not going to be something that you're going to do in 3 months and start making thousands of dollars. A lot of Flourish members who have watched my presentations or they've done a coaching call from me, they get into my group and it's very overwhelming for them because they don't see how they can get to that point from point A. But when I first started, I was at farmers markets every week. I was at any craft show that I could get to. I was posting daily on my business page. I was taking orders from whoever I could get orders from. I hit the ground running, and after 2 years with a local base, I was able to quit my job. And then I started my Facebook group, and we started doing weekly sales, and then I started having shows at my house, and I started doing paint classes, and one thing led into another. So I'm 5 years in the making. I'm not just starting my business 6 months ago. It doesn't happen overnight. No business does. Well, you might have some that are going to go viral, like Pam did. But I'm sure Pam, I haven't done a whole lot of research, but I'm sure she just didn't start her business 3 months before her video went viral. It doesn't happen that way, guys. You have to put as much time and effort into running a Facebook group as you do into your Etsy, as you do into your own website, whatever the case may be. It takes time. It's not going to happen for you overnight. So as I try not to get frustrated with you all, so I hope it doesn't come across as that. But when somebody says, well, I don't have very much interaction, I'm like, well, when did you start your group? Well, 3 months ago or 6 months ago, and nobody's wanting to post and comment. And I'm like, well, how often have you been posting? Well, at least once a week. Well, once a week, that's not going to work. You have to be posting every day, either on your business or your group page. I mean, a minimum of 2 to 3 times a week that you need to be posting in that group. And it has to be interactive. It can't be all sales. It can't be, you have to connect on a personal level. If people feel like you're just trying to, and I'm kind of getting into tomorrow's topic, honestly, with talking about all this, but you have to make that personal connection. And I'm going to be the first to tell you, Facebook groups might not be for you. If you don't have the time to really dedicate towards it and really interact with people and post those giveaways and get product going and do those exclusives and do restocks, and it doesn't have to be, every single week or every single day, but you have to nurture this relationship on Facebook with people. You have to be real. You can't just be like, here I am, here's my product, this is what I'm selling, you get $5 for being in this group. No, you can't do that. You have to be like, hey guys, you have to connect with people on that personal level. I've had customers come in here and cry. I've gone through cancer. I've gone through, not me personally, but with my customers, divorces, kids dying. Wow, some of the stuff that I've actually sit in this shop right here that I'm in, sit down and talk to them. It creates that loyal connection with you and your customers. And it's not that I don't care. It's not about the customer to me at that point. Some of my customers have become my friends. And so making those connections with people is vital on Facebook. There is 1,000 other makers out there that's doing what you're doing. So if you don't have that one up in connecting with your customers, there's going to be somebody else who might provide better quality service. They might provide a better quality product. You have to have that that connection, to have a loyal customer base and keep them coming back to you. Okay, so word of mouth is another way, and that's exactly what I was just talking about. So if I have that personal connection and somebody's needing a sign, then that lady who is sitting here and she has cried on my shoulder is going to tell, oh, well, Ashley over in Cole Camp does those. You know, I bet she could probably do that for you. Or she's having a sale next month. You might want to go there, or join her Facebook group. She does weekly things or discounts all the time. Go in there and see what she has to offer. Or here's her Facebook group or Facebook business page. Why don't you message her? I have so many referrals from word of mouth. So always keep that in mind, and always keep that in mind when you're posting on social media as well personally, that you're always representing your business, okay? So you're always representing your business, and so just be very cautious when you're, posting things. It could affect how people, perceive you, or I'm not saying to be fake on there, but you know what I mean? Like, if you're going to post a whole bunch of vulgarity or, I won't even get into political post, that's going to be up to you. It's your right. It's your Facebook business page. And if that's the way that you want people to perceive you, it could carry over to your business is all I'm going to say about that. Without people really getting to know you personally. So, anyway. If you guys have any questions, I'm going to be here right after, and we need to make it questions with giveaways and growing your group, nothing about content, okay? So if you have a question about how to make a connection with your group, giveaways, and growing, that's what these questions are for this video. Tomorrow night, we are going to be doing, I've got all my notes here for everything, tomorrow is going to be a longer video. We've got some topics here on content, and I've been doing a lot of research for you guys. So here is all of this of different topics that you can utilize for your group, and we're going to go over all of those tomorrow. For those of you all who don't know, I do coaching sessions in my crazy busy schedule. I usually do them on Mondays. And if you can't do a Monday, that's fine. We can reschedule for a time that works for you. But I have so much going on. Like, my Facebook group is on Thursdays. If I do one in my makers group, it's on Tuesdays. I do Etsy and Amazon, and then we prepare for shows. So I try to dedicate Mondays to my coaching calls. So if you message me, that's the best way. If you would like to book a coaching call with me to have something geared specifically around your business, we can go through on how to grow it specifically for you. And I have done coaching calls for people who have 80,000 people on their business page to people who are just getting started and aren't familiar with even working with computers. So wherever you're at, I can help you with that as far as running a Facebook group business. If you have any questions about, anything with Facebook groups, I'm always in Flourish for you guys to tag. But if you are really looking for that one-on-one, I participate in the Flourish Mentor program, so it's $25 for 30 minutes with me, and we can do a phone call or chat even on Facebook or however you would like to do it. And if you would like to do that, please message me personally on Facebook to schedule that, and I can send you a link for it. And I would be more than happy to work with you. So anyway, cheers from my coffee cup to yours, and I will see you guys tomorrow.